Aunty Ginger Tonic is, for me, is more than a business because it's about finding myself. Because after I started exploring this business, I started seeing good thing about my home.
This is The Producers. I'm Dani Valent. Yarrie Bangura is the founder and owner of Auntie's Ginger Tonic. Her delicious beverage isn't just a drink, it's a journey, a fuel for her entrepreneurial ambitions and a tribute to something she grew up making and enjoying as a child in Sierra Leone. After the good times turned to hard times, Yarrie ended up coming to Australia as a 12-year-old refugee. She sees her business as a way of showcasing remembered joys of her birthplace and contributing to the country she now calls home.
My name is Yarrie Bangura, and my business is Auntie's Ginger Tonic. Auntie's Ginger Tonic is a unique ginger-based drink. It's very refreshing. And I would say Auntie's Ginger Tonic is the taste of soft drink and kombucha, but it's not fermented. It's authentic and it's contemporary to meet like the lifestyle of today. That's why, and it's reduced sugar. And as you know, ginger is good for us. And so we use about 86, we use about 8% of ginger, and it's 100% organic with 96% of we source our ingredients here, about 96%. The reason why I'm calling the numbers, because when I came here as a refugee, I always want to give back to my home, to my new home. And so for me to be able to support our local farmers and to be able to make something that is good for us, for me, it's like a dream come true.
Yarrie was born in the West African country of Sierra Leone. As she explains, her early childhood was colourful, happy and community-centred, but civil war brought disruption, dislocation and terrible hardship.
I was born in a country called Sierra Leone, Freetown, and my life back home was very colourful, and I saw so much love in my community. Like everybody is your auntie, your uncle, your brothers and your sisters. There was no division in a sense of community base, and we celebrate every festival. So every special event, we celebrate it regardless the religion's difference. And so, but this changed when the war break down in my country. And that's when I was very young when this took place. And that's when I experienced the other side of my happy home. And that was taken away from me. And we had to escape the war to Guinea. And we stayed in the refugee camp until we applied, like my uncle support us to apply for humanitarian visa. Then we moved to the capital city from the refugee camp, and we went through the process, and we were successful to migrate to Australia. So I was 12 years old, and that was in 2004. I arrived here in Australia in 2004.
Yarrie loves the taste and health properties of ginger, but making Auntie's Ginger Tonic has also offered a therapeutic reconnection to good memories and important people in Sierra Leone, especially her inspirational grandmother.
Yeah, so ginger drink, you can find it in every special occasion you go, to, being a wedding, funeral, baby naming ceremony, traditional wedding. Everywhere you go, you just find this drink. And for me, the reason why I was also inspired in it, I was like, it's ginger for me, is because I love ginger beer. and coming here, I couldn't find anything that was close to home. So I had to create it, and also in memory, because as I said earlier, my background of like my journey, the war, took away the happy side of my childhood. And so I was left with memories, flashbacks. So like starting Auntie's ginger tonic business actually was a way for me to connect to the good side of my childhood, my happy time. And so I remember one thing I remember vividly was visiting my grandmother and my great grandmother, who was very much like an inspirational icon to me. And she lived very long time. She up to 116 before she passed on. And for me, that was an inspirational to me. And I just saw the simplicity of how she lived her life and how she grows everything from her garden, from their farm. So like, and I know that that's what she eats. So that's why ginger was one of those ingredients that she used to grow as well. And so I thought, well, like in a memory of her, and I want to do this like ginger drink because I know it's good for you. Ginger is good. It's a superfood. So, yeah.
Being a refugee and a woman of colour, Yarrie knew she didn't have the easiest foundations for becoming an entrepreneur. But she was determined, seeking out inspirational stories and mentors to make it happen.
With the business, I started exploring by reading about people because obviously coming from a refugee background and a colored woman, I know that it's not going to be easy for me. And so I said, first of all, when I told my mom, who she's a businesswoman herself back home, but like she laughed and she said to me, you like to dream big, but like just make it small this time around. Finish your school, your education, and work, and that way you can contribute to the Australian society, because she knew that I wanted to give back. And so, and I thought, well, I'm already studying, I'm already working, and I'm already paying my tax. So like, I was not happy. I didn't feel fulfilled because I've not fulfilled my dream and my passion of giving back. And so I stopped talking to people that I know they're going to like tell me not to do it. Like, and I started doing research about people that were not born with a golden spoon in their mouth, people that started a business from nothing and then grow it. And so for me, I built my strength on them because I know that if they can do it, I can do it too. I can read about their history. So I started doing like testing as well. I'll buy ginger. I'll come and make it because it's a drink that nobody actually ever taught me how to make. But I've seen people make it, but like nobody said, this is a recipe. This is how you do it, like step by step. No. So, but because of the connection, I could almost like visualize it. I can see it, how it made. So, I started reading about people and I started doing little runs and letting my family, like my dad and my sister, to test it. They would tell me, oh yeah, this is good. It's almost like home. Yeah, try again. So it was like just feedback, and that's how I learned how to make it as well. And so and also for my inspirational, like I just read about people. There was one particular lady. Her name is Jenny Alice. She is the founder of Boost. And so I followed her story very closely. And I saw that, she started from zero, and she was able to grow this beverage business. And now it's very successful. And so somebody like that, I look at her and I said, if she can do it, I can do it, So, and that's how I grew my strength. And the first day I came to Australia, I saw one woman, like a lady on TV, and my uncle told me that was Oprah Winfrey then. And so and I kept following her story, like I would see her on TV, she would be presenting, and I kept saying that I want to be like that lady. So I've always like have an idea of people that I want to become. And so like until one day I asked my uncle, I said, who is this lady? And then she told me, oh, that's Oprah. So I had few women in my life that I've already either read about or seen on TV that I try to find out more about them so that I can follow and encourage myself that if these people can do it, I can do it too.
Yarrie believes just being alive is a miracle. Auntie's Ginger Tonic is a blessing and an offering, a way to give back and show her support for her Australian home.
I've always had this urge to give back to my new home, Australia. So for me to be alive, it's a miracle, When the war took place, a lot of people were dead and killed, and a lot of young people were taken away from their parent. But unfortunately, that was not my own case, So it's a miracle to me. So I wanted to celebrate the blessings that I've gotten from this country. And that was through bringing something that is not just a drink, but very dear to my heart. It's very important for me to use Australian ingredients, especially supporting our amazing farmers who produce our foods here. So for me, it was something I could connect from my home. And then also because that's how my grandmother would pick the ginger from the farm. And so, for me, that was like everything in this business that I could do that. What is in the drink? The drink has, the initial drink, the original I had was ginger with tamarind. And it has tamarind, ginger, lemon, raw sugar, and water. So everything we use is organic, except the tamarind. We couldn't get certified on that because that's it's tamarind, but it's grown organically, but they don't have the organic certificate on it. So I can say, that. Yeah, so that's the drink. And then recently we've developed a new flavors as well. So we're going to be having, everything is ginger based. So we're going to be having, the difference is the tamarind is another flavor. And then we're going to have just ginger with lemon. And that's another flavor. And then we're going to have ginger, lemon, pineapple. That's another flavor. And then ginger with clove and lemon and raw organic sugar on all of them. So that's going to be, we're going to have 3 extra flavor from the flavor that you tried at the restaurant.
Starting a business is never easy. Yarrie talks through some of the challenges and her workarounds.
It's not easy. Even now, I go to people to talk about my business. But when I was in the market, because I started going to the local market and festival, and sometimes you can see people really want to try the drink, but because they have not seen someone there first, they don't want to go, and approach. And so it was but once they see someone coming in to the table, you can tell that person that was watching from afar is coming now to come and test the drink. So things like that was affected me. And then sometimes if they're come to the table, they will tell their kids, I love kids. I love being young because kids don't have barriers. They don't see the things that we see. They just, if they like something is appealing to them, they would take it and eat it or drink it. So they would ask their kids to taste it. And once the kid tasted, it was also a way for me to sell, because once a kid likes something, they just push their parent to buy. And so that works for me as well. And also at some point my mom was right, because people, when I go out to pitch to businesses to buy the drink, you can tell they're whether they ask you where is it made or where is it from. And so it's from Australia, but that's the first thing they will ask you. And then the way they look at you is whether they have not seen a lot of colored people in business. So, and maybe that's why I look like this is different. Maybe they're shocked, or I don't know, but this is something that I'm constantly working on as well. What are they thinking when I appear to them and say, this is my drink? I feel like that initial stage is hard, but once they taste it, they become addicted. They become a customers. They become friend to me.
Getting into grocery chain Harris Farm was a key marker of success for Yarrie. She talks about her determination to get on the shelf.
Harris Farm, I got into Harris Farm through someone who knew the CEO. It was through like connection and one of the CEOs. So I sent, and then he gave me his like a buyer's details for beverage, and I sent some sample. After that, I just kept calling and emailing almost every day just to remind, because sometimes buyers can be very, very busy. So you just have to keep pushing and then reminding them to taste the drink. So I was just doing the chasing around until one fateful day, they finally taste it and tell me, we want to put in an order, just like that. So, and from there, I offered, because I feel like also the drink, as I said in the earlier before, the drink is not just about the drink, but it's a drink. I think people can see that. So it's part of me, part of my journey as well. So, and I take time to go into their stores to do testing and meet people, customers that buys it. And that usually works very well as well when I go into the store to serve people. Yeah.
Yarrie has learnt a lot on her business journey. She shares advice for others with an entrepreneurial spark.
I would say to any business owners who are from refugee background is to not to give up, always fall in love with what, if you find yourself in a stage where you're doubting your ability or yourself, to look what connects you the first time you have that idea of starting a business and the happiness that idea gives to you. Revisit that, and for you to get strength. But I would always say that, now that I have all these people around me, like professional people around me who I can call anytime and ask questions or connect to refugee organization. There is few refugees or social enterprise organization that can help, which I went through that too. I went through Ignite, and Ignite is a through SSI, a settlement service through SSI. And so those people helped me, and I went through a program called Global Sisters as well. Those people also helped me at my early stage. So connect yourself. If you can't find individuals that can help you, you can always find organizations that have startup business for social good, because those people can help you to connect you with mentors. And so don't always associate yourself with other people. Talk about, even if you don't have anything, but just someone that you can talk your ideas to, and it doesn't feel like you're all on your own, because language is a barrier. We are in a country that we are not born from, and maybe some of you, like me, have had the privilege to grow up here a little bit. So I am confident that, I can go out and talk to anybody that I want to talk to. But maybe some people came here, maybe you came here older, and you're finding it hard to, language is a problem. Just remember that there is always solution to everything, whether through mentorship or through NGOs. But don't be silenced and be suffering alone. And always remember the reason why you started your business and the happiness it gives to you, and to reconnect that back to that and to find happiness through that. So and also don't take no for an answer, because from time to time, if you go talk to, in food business now, I go to talk to cafes, to retailers. Don't be, when somebody say no, I know it's hard for you to take that, but don't take no for an answer. Keep pushing until they give you a reason that you are happy with, that you can accept and improve. Because every no, you should find out why did somebody say no. And if that person gives you a feedback that maybe is about improving your product, don't take it wrong. Take it and improve it. And then once you improve it, take it back to that person for that person to give you another feedback, or maybe that time the person will accept it.
With such a strong anchor to her West African homeland, Auntie's Ginger Tonic is much more than a business. Yarrie explains how it's been part of her healing.
Aunty Ginger Tonic to me is more than a business, because it's about finding myself, which I reconnect to my home back, because after I started exploring this business, I started seeing good thing about my home. But before that, I was suffering with flashbacks and a very bad post-traumatic disorder. So, and I couldn't sleep at night. It was very, very hard. But after I made peace with myself and accept the fact that what has happened. Like now, because I just recently had my 5th year birthday anniversary, and it was always so hard to convince my mom that, things like I can make this work. But seeing that on the 5th birthday of AGT anniversary, and the people that were there, and a lot of people that was there to organize the whole thing, she was amazed. She said to me, "Wow, like where did all these people come from?" I said to her, "It's Auntie's Ginger Tonic supporters, fan, and helpers." So she was amazed. I think that's like changing of her idea. But I know wherever my grandmothers are, they will be very proud of me, because I have brought something of their practices or what they do to the world, not just to my family or to Australia, but to the world. And then also, like now I know some of my aunties know I sell beverage here. So sometimes they would tell my mom, or when I go to my mom's house and I'm around, she's talking to my aunties, they ask, "Can you send us some drink for us, please? We want to taste your ginger juice." And so it's like things like that. They will say it because they're so happy with what I have done with the drink.
5 years in, Yarrie has the feeling that Auntie's Ginger Tonic is just beginning. What are her dreams for the future?
My dreams are is to grow Auntie's Ginger Tonic. I want Auntie Ginger Tonic to be a household name, and I want to sell in like major retailers too, like the one that we have, Coles, Woolworths, Aldi. So, and I want it to be national. What I do as well, because for me, I want to give back. So, in my own time, I partner with ACU to go into the schools to run business workshops for disadvantaged community, refugees as well, and teaching them how to run a business. And not just about a business, because not everybody have passion for business, but just a career pathway and whatever they want, and just inspire them. Because for me to be able to do what I'm doing today is because I looked people up and I look up to them as a role model. And that's how I was I motivated myself to get to where I am today. So that's what I do in my own time. So I want to contribute financially to things that I'm passionate about with some of my profit. That's my future plan. The more I sell, the more I give back, not just my time, but finance as well.
Starting, running, and growing a business isn't easy, but it can be enormously satisfying. What does Yarrie love about what she does?
I love the fact that now there's a lot of people who want to help me. So Australia has a lot of generous people who are very, very generous with their knowledge and their time. Like I have a group of board members who are from different sectors but have come together to help me. And even for Auntie's Ginger Tonic to be produced manufacturally, it was through a customer that I met in the market who was a food nutritionalist, who took me on this journey and said to me, I want to help you. Because she saw that I was never making enough. I was making it in a commercial kitchen and I was paying a lot of money for that hourly. And I was only making 150 bottles. And I was like, every time I go to the market, I will be sold out. So she showed me the way of manufacturing, talking to them for them to manufacture to make small batches for me instead of like the normal runs. So I love the fact that there are people just like my village who try to raise me up, and I could find a community here, people trying to help me, for me to rise up.
More than a soft drink and much more than a business, Auntie's Ginger Tonic is a link and an offering, a vessel for giving. It's also very delicious. Yarrie Bangura has found a vehicle that carries her entrepreneurial vision and fulfills her as a person. This is The Producers, a Deep in the Weeds production. I'm Dani Valent. Stay tuned as we talk to some of Australia's best farmers, makers and growers. Follow us on Instagram at Producers Podcast or contact us via deepintheweeds.com.au.